Yes, hello. It's a late one, isn't it? 12:30 at midnight. Mental. Hi, everyone. This is the last word where we're going to be talking all about the game, lineups, a couple of stuff what Bruce has said, and we've also got a clip from Adam. Let's crack on with it. Yes, hello, everyone. Well, our eyes aren't doing well because we've obviously been beaten tonight, but we'll talk about that very shortly. But performance was better than what we used to. Obviously, the last 2.5 games, the performances have upped. I think it was a case of not taking any chances, not creating enough in that second half, but we'll talk about that in a moment. We are aiming for a whopping 150 likes on tonight's video. I am knackered. I have been working behind the scenes all night on all the videos. So if you can appreciate the graph that we do put in, that would be marvelous. So thank you very much on that as well. Lee, great question to start off with. Lee, where the hell was Graeme Jones tonight? First 10 minutes, he started off up in the stand, and then he actually did come down into the dugout. Just BT Sport cameras didn't actually pick up. So he was in the touchline. There is a picture on the Chronicles Twitter feed, barking instructions, but you just didn't say it enough. Evening, Lee. It's morning. It's morning now, believe it or not. Evening says Connor. It's morning. It's morning. Thanks again for the videos. Late night Grafton, very much appreciate. Love you guys watching the games. Thank you very much for that appreciation. Right, let's crack on with it. Obviously, we've got Adam coming up with his reaction shortly as well. But as you know, this is the last word. We always start from scratch and go at the lineups, and then we'll talk about the game. There's no reaction from Steve Bruce tonight. BT haven't put any of it out, so we're not using that. But let's crack on with it. This is Crystal Palace's lineup. I was talking about this because obviously I do the build up for the first hour in the watch long. The front four, what you think of them straight away is pace, power, trickery. It's probably the 3 words I would use. Batshuayi, Zaha, Eze, and Ayew. 2 grafters in midfield, Milivojevic and Riedewald. Van Arnold, who loves to bomb on. We've seen that tonight. Klein, Cahill, and Dan, who put in loads of blocks tonight, and Guaita, who I feel don't think we tested enough, especially second half. But that was the Palace lineup, and I thought myself, keep Eze quiet, keep Zaha quiet. We'll be fine. We'll do all right. We'll win the game. And I thought we kept them not largely quiet because they did look dangerous. But we'll come to the game in a second about that. But Newcastle's lineup, we'll take a look at that. Only one change, which was Ciaran Clark came in for the injured Jamal Lascelles. I wasn't massively against it because of the performance against Everton was sensational. We kind of kid ourselves. It was a brilliant performance, a brilliant result against Everton. Just the one change because of injury. Although I would have preferred Alan Saint-Maximin at start tonight. I thought he would have. I think he will start now against Southampton, who have been walloped. We'll talk about that later. But there was just the one change, as I say, but there's plenty of options on the bench to bring on. No Matt Ritchie on the bench. Again, no Sean Longstaff, which is a bit alarming what's happening with the two. Adam thinks that there's something going on in the dressing room, which we'll hear from Adam shortly as well. But that was the lineup. And then as the game kicked off, we got off to an absolute flying start. Jonjo Shelvey scores. Literally, I literally finished up from doing the watch along, and I walked into the living room. And as soon as I turned it on, because I missed the first minute, there was a goal straight away. Jonjo Shelvey, obviously celebrating. Dean Nashira, hand up in the air, running around the living room as I normally do, because I'm stupid like that. Fantastic start. Callum Wilson with yet another assist. I think that's his 5th assist now, I believe, off the top of my head. Nodded down. Great finish. You've got to say that. Fantastic start for Newcastle. You think to yourself, what a start, right? If we can get that second, get the third, possibly, we can dream, have a good night. But no. Look, we'll talk about the goals and the chances now. But Palace, when they equalised, it's frustrating because you've got to stop that cross, first of all, from the right-hand side, from our right-hand side, their left side. And it gets half cleared. You have to say it's a fantastic hit by Riedewald. You probably have Brandon going on about it for 6 months because he's Dutch. He whacks it. It does hit Ciaran Clark. Ciaran Clark tries to do the right thing by getting in the way of it. Darlow saves it. If it doesn't hit Ciaran Clark, that's what happens. It ricochets off Clark and it goes past Darlow. Can't really argue. It was a hell of a shot. It was probably over 65 miles, but Great hit by Riedewald, 1-1. But even then, I thought, you know what, this is an entertainment game. It's still early on. We've got plenty of time to go on and try and get to go in front. However, no. It was a space of literally 2 goals in the space of the 5 minutes. And I've got to pick on Fabian Schär a little bit. Yes, I know Lewis gives away the free kick. However, basic marking, Fabian Schär, all you've got to do is stop your man, and Gary Cahill gets a run on him. It's a great header. Again, I can't really question the goalkeeper about that. It goes in the back of the net. The Palace are 2-1 up. 2 goals in 5 minutes, and that's what killed her at night. That's what killed her. That brief 5 minutes, of course, lost with the game. In the final third, we didn't create enough, which is obvious, of course. And you talk about all the chances in that first half. You had after the Shelvey goal, the Hendrick, when he dragged his shot just wide. You had Wilson, a brilliant through ball by Wilson. The commentators were talking about what a pass. Wilson's becoming now our Harry Kane. I can't speak. Our Harry Kane, because he's not just scoring goals, but he's also a maker of goals, because Wilson's now got 5 assists, and he also played through in Fraser. Obviously, Palace fans say Guaita did fantastic well to save it, but go around the goalkeeper. Go around the goalkeeper, because you're either going to have a better chance of not having the goalkeeper touch it, or you might bring you down. Worst case scenario, you put it wide, but go around the goalkeeper every time for me, because the angle was tight already. But Fraser should be doing a bit better for me. We've seen Almiron's free kick deflected, just hit touch the top of the bar. And from that corner itself, Fabian Schär had a header just go wide. Fabian Schär from distance had a shot that just go wide. So there was a lot of chances in that first half, and a lot of that Newcastle not used to. But it wasn't as high pressing as much as it was against Everton. But the signs were still there. But Palace were very, very dangerous, as I touched upon Eze and Zaha on the counter. And we're going down, no surprise, mostly on our right-hand side where Manquillo was playing. Manquillo wasn't as good as, of course, what he was against Everton. And then in case of the second half, we didn't really see Palace go forward much, because effectively after 50 minutes, Palace parked the bus. And it reminded me of us, how we play normally, because we normally park the bus for 90 minutes and think, fuck it, we'll try and get a 1-0 if we're lucky. But Palace accepted, you know what, we'll take the win. Worst case scenario, we'll take the point. And we just couldn't break them down. There wasn't enough created for me. There wasn't enough out wide. Our midfield wasn't getting forward, box to box. Maybe Willock could have helped if he was registered in time, but there was just not enough for me. That final third, and I think that's down to a couple of things, is because we're not used to breaking teams down. We're not used to breaking teams down whatsoever. It's normally us who has to try and soak up the pressure, and we're just not. Maybe it's a case of if we were starting to dominate a few more games, we'll get used to it, and the lads will be in training how to break down the team. Because for me, Dwight Gale, 75 minutes, get him on earlier. I know ESM came on earlier, and I mentioned that again. ESM for me should have started tonight. He really should have. Andy Carroll, I have to question as well. I know Gale was already on the pitch a good 10, 15 minutes before Carroll, but he did go attacking, but it was a little bit too late. So the changes for me were right, but the timing of them was wrong. Because if you're going to have 3 strikers on and you're a goal behind, you're sitting Carroll on the 88th minute. Because Dan and Cahill were superb tonight. They blocked everything. They put the bodies on the line. Cahill got a goal. So for me, those two were Palace's best players tonight, the 2 centre-backs. And I'd love to see Andy Carroll given a lot more time against one of them, because you've got Wilson who can move around, Gale who's a fox in the box, Carroll who can hit it. Just get them subs on a lot earlier for me. But I come away from the game thinking to myself, is it 2 points? Well, I say 2 points. We should have at least gotten a point. So is it a point dropped because of Newcastle? I think you should have at least earned a point tonight. It's a bit sweet because the performance is better than what it has been. Of course, Everton tops it. I don't think we're going to perform any better than the whole of the season for me. I think the Everton one in the weekend was brilliant. Halfway through the Leeds game, second half was better. Tonight was better. We had a lot of possession, but we didn't know what to do with it. We dominated possession, but that's all well and good. But I think Ryan Fraser had the most crosses tonight, and Miggy was the best player on the pitch. I have to agree with the lads and scoring the players. But I just don't think that we can break down teams enough, because we don't do it enough. How many times have we had to break down teams this season is when we're 1 or 2 goals down and we'll have to go for it the last 10 minutes. We're just not used to it. And I think the cost for that 5-minute spell from the 2 goals that Palace scored cost what night, and we could have maybe got a point at the very least. I think it's definitely a point that we should have got tonight, and not often I'll say that coming away from the game as well. Let's have a look at what your comments are saying, and then we'll get a clip from Adam as well. The Toon review. Nice to see you, Paul. Paul, I actually want you on the channel, mate. I mean it to messenger. So he was only in the touchline for about 10 minutes, mate, and then he went back to the stand, says the Toon review. Well, the Chronicle are giving misinformation then. Steve Bruce, it's got to go as simple as that. We need a better manager. Holly, who was on earlier on, fantastic to see you on once again, Holly, coming to regular now, so nice on you. Shelvey took his goal really well. He did. We need to see more of Jonjo Shelvey, and I predicted he would score the night in the watch along in the first hour as well. Ben says, I was on the show yesterday and I said we needed a centre-back, and tonight proved it. Tonight I blame Ashley, not Bruce. Why? The lack of investment was needed in certain areas. Ashley out, Bruce out. Yeah, you can make a whole new video about the hierarchy once again as well. Ollie, who's a new member as well. We didn't know what to do when we had the ball and Palace was sitting off. We never experienced it ourselves. Yeah, Ollie's echoing what I was just literally saying earlier on. Darlow for me could be doing better with the second goal. Perhaps, maybe, but I'm not putting the finger at Darlow. I think it's Fabian Schär's fault clearly for that. Almira looks so much more comfortable. Exactly, Connor. Looks so much more comfortable in attacking position, and he's still grafting back as well. He's still doing the hard work as well. Ryan isn't fit enough to play. Let the man rest. And Jay in Atlanta, who was on the Scoring the Players, and Jay has an article coming up on Newcastle Fans TV, which I'm putting out in the next 24, 40 hours, all about how he become a fan. If you're an international fan, we want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts as well. For me, this is enough to keep us up barely. Only real answer is Ashley out. Yeah, there's 3 teams clearly a lot worse. I think Brighton play much better football than us, but there's 3 teams worse than Newcastle, and that's the bottom 3 currently at the moment as well. Palace should have been down to 10 men. Yeah, this is a challenge on Wilson. If they park the bus, Carroll instead of Gale. Yeah, Bruce is a cabbage. Should have drew against Leeds. Yeah, I totally agree. And someone had to tell me about Jones, who was at the ground, mate. It doesn't matter anyway, we lost. Just drop me a message, mate. Yeah, thank you very much, Paul. What we'll do is we'll get a clip from Adam, because he's not happy, bunny, and it wouldn't be surprising with this. But he has Adam. I'll be back with you in a couple of minutes.
Thanks for that, Lee. Yes, another defeat. We can take as many positives out the Everton game as we want. It was still a defeat against Crystal Palace tonight. I think a few of us went into it with a bit of optimism, but again, it's kind of the same old stuff. A bit more positive, but the same old stuff. Great start of the game. I thought we started right out the blocks. Great goal, great work by Almiron, great chest down by Wilson, and a great finish by Shelvey, who's needed a goal. But I think that's as much as contributed to the game. I thought he went missing after that. 20 minutes, I thought we controlled the game. I didn't feel that we were going to lose the game. I thought we were good in possession, looked dangerous going forward, but then that first goal came where, Palace started pushing a bit forward. Mankillo, ball watching, and Shelvey, to be fair, and a great finish by them. A great strike, should I say. It did take a deflection, but came in at 1-1, and then you expect, right, can we react? A stupid foul given away by Lewis. Not long after their first goal, you think, right, basic. It's pretty much a corner, basic defending. Fabian Schär absolutely just completely loses Gary Cahill. And then 2-1, and then we never react after that. For me, we had a couple of big chances, but again, you're looking for a reaction. You're looking for, like, come on, we need to get back in the game, and it never really came. The second half, he tried to ring the changes in. To be fair to Bruce, he brought the right players on. ASM never got in the game. Very disappointing. Just falling over all the time. Andy Carroll, I thought was a bit of a pointless sub at 89 minutes. Yeah, very disappointing. Interesting, Graeme Jones not on the sideline. I think that rattled Bruce a bit, the amount of stick he's got for Jones taking charge against Everton. But yeah, Bruce has got to go for me still. I still think we've got a team who can do something, but a frustrating game. Was it as bad as Sheffield United and Villa? No. I thought we had a bit more intensity about us, but not enough. I thought we were beaten by a pretty poor Palace team, to be fair. But yeah, again, Southampton got beat 9-0 tonight, and who do they take their anger out on this weekend? Newcastle. So can we cope with that? We'll see. So yeah, back to you, Lee.
Cheers, Adam. Thank you very much for that. Adam's echoing quite a lot what I've already said as well. I haven't even seen that clip either. I've just literally put it together, processed it, get it uploaded in the studio, and here we are. Jonjo Shelvey says, Lee, we need to get these attacking wingers who can play off a striker. Sorry, it's just not a striker who needs to score. I would totally agree on that, because you take Wilson out, our next goal scorer is Almiron on 2 and Hendrick on 2. That tells you its own story. Daniel says, well, there you go. We rely far too much on Wilson. We need another striker. We need a goal scorer in midfield as well. I'm not saying that Willock's going to be the answer, but it can't be any worse, can it? From a goal scoring from midfield. Yes, Shelvey scored like far, but when's the next time Jonjo going to score a goal? Lay all the top sides have inside forwards. Yeah, you're referring to, but we're not a top side. That's the problem. We can't afford those. That is the issue that we've got, unfortunately. And Ed says perfectly fine losing the way we did tonight, to be honest. On reflection of what we've seen this season, I'll take having a go and not doing enough rather than damage limitation from the start. Yeah, Ed, that's a great point, because we did dominate possession in Palace. Literally parked the bus for the last 40 minutes. We've got to learn if that happens again and how to break down the side. We've got to learn, because that was a game that Newcastle could have got something out of it, even if it's a point. Substitutions were positive, but seemed as they were chucked down with no shape. I would agree on that, but I think with Cahill and Cahill, I would like to have seen them a little bit earlier as well. And Ben just said, seen the stat that needs to be mentioned under Bruce's manager. We've only won 9 out of 30 games, and that just adds up to the embarrassing stats that we have under Bruce. It just shows what the club is rotten top to bottom. And currently in the run at the minute, we're on 1 win in 13 games at the moment. And let's give our man Lee more likes. Respect to the graph. Yeah, please do hit that like button. It is now nearly 10-1 in the morning, and we're still going. Madness. And despite playing more attacking, Wilson is isolated, and we need to sort it out ASAP. Well, he's, like I was saying a little bit earlier, Holly, he's now starting to become a creator. Obviously, he's not in the same ballpark as Harry Kane, because Harry Kane's no disrespect to Callum Wilson. Harry Kane's on another level. Harry Kane's brilliant. But Wilson is becoming our Harry Kane by creating 5 assists now and scoring the goals himself. We've got no one else, whereas Spurs can rely on Son or Lucas Moura or Gareth Bale for 5 minutes off the bench, because I don't know the point in signing Gareth Bale. Lee, would you keep Bruce if you continue to play this style more of attacking football? Oh, that's a tough one. Obviously, right now, I would say no, because I'm not a fan of Bruce. Never have been since he walked through the door. I give him the opportunity to go and prove me wrong, but he hasn't. But that's a tough one. Ask me that in 20 games. And how many of them 20 games are we going to play like attacking football as well? But Bruce's quotes tonight, let's have a look at that. And this is taken from Lee Ryder's Twitter as well. So Bruce has said about the deadline today, he said, we always wanted more. It wasn't just yesterday. In the last couple of days, 1 or 2 unfortunately fell away, which we were disappointed about. We are delighted to get Joe Willock, and it will benefit everybody. Yeah, so more competition in midfield. Of course, that might push the Longstaffs further down the pecking order, but it's for the greater good. I think Joe Willock coming in, bit of freshness, bit of competition. Can it go any wrong? Doesn't matter what job you're working. And Steve Bruce then goes on to say about Willock, he brings energy and a goal from midfield. He's been here tonight and he's in contention for Saturday, so it wouldn't surprise me if he's starts, to be honest with you, on the weekend. Well, obviously, we'll talk about Southampton in a second. And Steve Bruce said it's another half an hour for Alan. He's getting his fitness levels back up. It's difficult, but he's showing signs that he can start. For me, he should have started tonight and then take him off. That's what I would have done with ASM. I wanted him to start tonight, but nope, that didn't happen. And would he start on the weekend? That's a big clue by Brucey Bonus. So I would like to think so. And let's have a look at the league table as well. If you want to start getting your comments and get them firing in now, because we're going to start wrapping up. So this is the current league table. And obviously Southampton getting walloped 9-0 tonight. Which we'll come to in a minute, but Newcastle have obviously played still 2 more games more than Fulham. It looks comfortable. 8 points. You would think that Newcastle would stay up because the bottom 3 are really, really bad at the minute. I know Sheffield United are starting to win games, but I think 11 points to catch up with Newcastle is a little bit too much, even at this stage with 16 games left of the season in the Premier League. West Brom are a little bit indifferent at the minute. Fulham are picking up just too many draws. But having said that, though, if Fulham do win their 2 games in hand, that puts them on 20 points. That's 2 points behind Newcastle. And I know that's if because Fulham kind of put a win together. At the minute, they've only won 2 all season, but we've just got to be a little bit careful. I'm not too worried because I think the win against Everton was a huge relief for everyone in the fan base that we got that win, and the performances are slightly better. The Everton one was sensational, but tonight was better than what we used to. Second half against Leeds, we need to kick that on, and we're going to go up against. And what's interesting, and I know we'll talk more about this a little bit later in the week about Southampton, is because Southampton play high press in your face, and obviously they've got hammered 9-0. I mean, it's not the first time the Hasenhüttl have suffered that defeat, but they had a red card so early in the game, which affected the rest of the game. But they got walloped 9-0, and when they got walloped against Leicester 9-0, they then lost the next game. I think it was 2-1. But then they start to go on that run when they start to climb the table. But I just hope that they're not a wounded animal on the weekend. I just hope that's not the case, because you tend to find that if a team's been beaten, they'll come back and bite on the arse. And I just hope that's not Newcastle, because if they play the high press, we won't play the high press. If we're going to match high press and high press, Southampton will beat us at the high press, because they're so used to doing it the past 12 to 18 months. We've only been doing high press. Everton spells tonight, and spells at Leeds, the high press. But I think we might have to change our tactics for that. I think Bruce will. I think Bruce will be a little bit worried about Southampton coming up on the weekend. Let's have a look at what he's saying. Despite playing more attacking football, I've already read that out. You can tell him late. It's late and I'm tired. We must also have a young goal scorer from the under-23, surely. So Lee, can any of them help with Wilson up top? If not, what is the club doing with youth talent? So at the minute, it's Yannick Torre, who's predominantly plays up front, but the under-23s are barely playing any football at the minute because a lot of competitions keep getting cancelled because of COVID. Obviously, Sorensen is out on loan in the Eerste division, which is the second division in Holland. He's doing okay, but apart from that, are those two the answers? I don't think so. Unfortunately not. I think you've obviously got Mutu out on loan, who needs to get rid. Dwight Gale will leave in the summer. I think Andy Carroll might get a year's contract extension and just be a bit part player like he is now. But I can definitely see Gale going as well. Any membership videos coming up this week, Lee? Great question, Ollie. Yes, there is one from me about our Twitter account as well, because we're having some issues on that at the minute, which is not our fault. We uploaded a GIF. I didn't say uploaded. We embedded a GIF and we got done for it, which wasn't in our GIF. It was already in Twitter's database. So we're trying to fight that. So I'll talk about that. You'll have Sam's video on the Friday. I think Brandon's done one tonight. I think he's also planning another one he was on about tonight. But yeah, there'll be a few videos, so don't worry about that as well. And I can't wait to see what happens when we play Man United. Yeah. And we're very lucky that there isn't somehow 3 or 4 teams worse than us. I think Brighton could overtake us quite easily, so we could finish 17th at the end of the season as well. When's the next WhatsApp question show happening? Well, that one, Ben, is the black and white show. When there's not a midweek game, we normally do it. So it's probably going to be not this Friday, but the following Friday, because then we've got the gap of 8 or 9 days, because we'll play Southampton on the Saturday, then we don't play Chelsea till the week on Monday. So it gives us a good 8 or 9 days to play around with that. Holly says we need to prioritise bringing in a solid striker in the summer as well. Yeah, we need rid of that Brazilian first, don't we? Yes, Yoshinori Mutu is still on the books. He is, but he's not a goal scorer, and he's never been fancied by Rafa. He's never been fancied by Bruce as well. And the last question tonight from Aaron is, are you worried that if Bruce keeps up, Ashley will keep him in charge next season? Yes, he will keep Bruce in charge if he keeps him up. But if we slip further down the table, like I said, the Everton one is a huge relief and pressure taken off Bruce, because he was straining, he was biting, and obviously he had a little bite in the press comments with Graeme Jones, because obviously Craig Hope asked him the question about he's taking a lot of the plaudits from the fans, and see Bruce went like that and then answered the question a bit sarky. But Graeme Jones was he was in the touchline, but he wasn't at the start. That's what the Chronicle are saying. That was about an hour ago, unless they're going to change the story again in the morning. I forgot it wrong. But Graeme Jones wasn't at the dugout at the start. He came back down because there is a picture of him barking instructions, but I don't know too much about it. That's what I've seen, because I've been busy behind the scenes with everything tonight. But yes, we do have plenty coming up as well. Coming up this week, of course, we've got obviously the preview a little bit later on the week. I'm going to do a counter video as well, looking at the tactics, the last few games. of course, NFTV Extra has a few videos with second channel as well. We've got this. I'll actually show you that. You'll probably see that how I built that. I do that from scratch, so keep an eye on NFTV Extra for this as well. And we've also got the marriage proposal, which was on the dead. Yes, we did have a marriage proposal, a true one, on our deadline day show yesterday, which is mad. So we're going to clip that down and put that up because it's a good feel factor. Brandon's put a video out on there tonight as well about jumping in the North Sea because he's a bit, he's just one of them, isn't he? But yeah, that's it. I'm going to love yous and leave yous. Have a fantastic week. And we'll see you very, very shortly here on NFTV.